Hi, this is Elliot Wave Sage. Let's do a end of the day market update. Like always, this isn't financial advice. Always got to do what's best for you. Okay, so the market was weak today. We had a good, nice, good, healthy sell-off in tech in the IWM. The question is, what's going to happen? There's a lot of people on the internet like, oh, it's just going to bounce higher, or we're going to come down here and bounce higher. But every chart that I see bounces higher. Guys, it may not bounce higher. It most likely won't. It most likely won't. If the market always does what everyone doesn't expect, and you need to prepare for that. So a lot of people would say, well, what do you do now? Well, look at the setup that we could be in right now, right? What if this is the setup that I have here, just like I have it? What if I'm right? What if this is the setup? Is this is valid? What if it's this? What if it's this? What if it's that? Right? South Sea style. What if it's this? We don't know. What if it's that? Right? My point is we don't know how we're going to get down here, but this is the setup. So I have my eye on the prize. Where's the prize? Here's like a bronze star. This is the silver star, and this is the gold medal. So I have no intention of covering, no intention of trading in and out of positions. I'm going to sit back and relax. I'm going to sit back and relax, is what my game plan is. Unlike if we were in a different setup, because I want to see if this is the setup. So no, a market maker isn't going to close me out. I'm not going to be squeezed out only to watch it fall later. And we have a reversal. So now my stop loss is here. Everyone's like, "What's your stop loss? What's your stop loss?" Well, it's right there now. And what was I doing last week? Building my positions. Position, building, 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 pump, build. The Qs on that Friday pump, literally 4:30, 4:30 Eastern time. I'm sorry, 3:30 Eastern time, 3:50. Boom. And now, cha-ching. And guess what? I don't care if it goes back up. I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna hold, and we're going. We got my eye. I got my eye on the prize, because if this is right, and geez, look at all the external factors out there. So much negative news: recession, debt ceiling, China, Taiwan, Russia, and Finland, and Trump, and political drama, and there's just so much bad news. Costco earnings sucked after the bell. An always safe stock, not maybe safe anymore. But if this setup is right, I got my eye on the prize, the gold medal, the gold medal. I don't care about this noise, so I'm gonna sit tight. I'm gonna sit tight now. Of course, where do you stop out at? Well, where the cycle, because if we break here, you're like, well, is this a new cycle? Is this a connector? It could be, right? This could be three waves in a shallow connector, and then you could get your blown up if you. So you got to stop out here, because the reason is the intensity was so extreme. If we look here, I could draw the 4 hour, and you see the 4 hour broke. So this is a new cycle. This corrected. So if this cycle corrected, that means this cycle corrected, and that means this whole thing is corrected. And if we look at the Stochk RSI, the 4 hour isn't there yet. So if you're a short term, let's say you're a very short term trader, and you want to try to trade in and out, I wouldn't worry about a bounce, a significant relief rally into the 4 hour Stochk RSI is down here. So anyone that bought the dip on close or thinks they're gonna buy the dip tomorrow, you got to watch this 4 hour. If this 4 hour isn't down here, you may have a scalp on the 45, right? The 45 is due, so it is due for a bounce on the 45, maybe a little bit, but that 4 hour is going to rule the day, is going to roll, it's going to bring it down. So short-term traders, you got to understand there's more downside more than likely in this leg. This leg isn't probably finished yet. And again, this could be a 1-2 even, and we could get 3 of 3 and fill this gap tomorrow, potentially. And then we may have the first cycle over on the first leg down. That's just kind of my one of the ideas. The other idea is we do move up on the 45 minute, and then the 4 hour kicks in somewhere up here and brings it back down. But I'm not going to try to trade in and out. But just so you know, it's choppy here. The 15 minute does show some bullish divergence. I mean, you could say it's like a 1-2, 1-2, 3-4, 5, but this is too strong. So it's probably like a 1-2, 3, 4, and 5 right here, like this, something like that, like this, right? And then up. 5 could also go, it could do that even, who knows. But that's the triple Qs. The SPY is kind of the same count. The IWM really weak. It went into a 1-2, 1-2. Again, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a 1-2, 3-4, 5. Nope, 1-2, 1-2. 1-2, 1-2. I erased the divergence. 1-2, 1-2. And now we're getting some divergence. So 1-2, 3. So we have our first 3, 4, and now we're in 5 here. Go to the 45 minute. You see how we erase divergence on the 45. And then you have a 4 and a 5. So the Russell should still be weak. Should be still weak. And again, it could be 3 swing corrective in in a smaller degree WXY. So we don't know how it'll play out. And then the Qs, the SPY, the Dow Jones is trying to hold things up, but eventually this is going to fail just like these others, and that's going to bring more downside to the market. The Dow hasn't broke its cycle yet, by the way. So I guess theoretically I wouldn't short the Dow. I wouldn't short any of these now. That's too late. Now I guess the Dow is still an indice you could try to short, I guess, here, because the cycle hasn't broke, especially if we get a pump tomorrow. So if you're so inclined and you're like, damn, I missed a move, perhaps you get this little pump tomorrow and the Dow finishes tomorrow, like up here in this area. And this is like a 4 and a 5, while the SPY, comes down and pulls up in a 2. The SPY and triple Qs, IWM can't break the high, but the Dow breaks the high. And then everything syncs up next week and you get a massive move lower next week. And again, if this isn't the right look and we go higher, well then stop out, the market will rip higher, and then B will come later. But B will come, unfortunately, no matter how high they want to pump this, B is coming. So it's better to get over it now. And the news is getting kind of negative. The tone, pretty negative, downbeat. See how the futures are doing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking for 3, 4, 5 on the NASDAQ to finish the first leg lower. Russell, same count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still grinding lower. ES, 1, 2, 1, 2. You see erase divergence. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a 3, 4. My bad. That's not wave 5. Something like that. Something like this. So we'll see we'll see what happens here again. 5 and up, or it could be another 1, 2, 1, 2, which is why you don't want to give up your position, right? You could say, oh, I'll just get back in on the bounce. What if there's no bounce? There may not be a bounce. This could be a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. And then you just gave up your position. You missed the meat of the move. So that's why you gotta be careful. That's why this is a better place to enter. And that's why building positions on the short side, you want to do that here, and then let this move come, and then you can decide how you want to take profit. How do you want to let it ride, and so on. And we'll see where we go. I got my eye on the prize. Where are we heading? I'm sleeping easy at night right now, right? Because we got the turn loaded up at the right spot. Now essentially it's just let the market decide. If we go down, great, I'm printing money. If we go up, we stop out. I barely lost anything, and we'll just come back in later on the short side, or maybe find some long positions in the market. if we get that kind of reversal. Uh, Obviously, I think the market's setting up to have a big move on CPI day next week. I think it's Wednesday. I think that's the day. You want to call it Judgment Day. That's Judgment Day. So CPI is going to be the day, I think, where you get a massive move in the market. That's that's what I suspect. Okay, let's just kind of click through the market. Again, Hang Seng needs to go lower. Um, like the Nikkei drop in here, that's good. That's good. That's a good three-wave move down. DAX, uh, it broke the high. It looks like we're gonna have to look at that count, but that's still three swings, so it's just a flat. It's just a flat of some kind. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an A, B, C. Yeah. So actually, this was off, so this would be right, because this is needs to be an impulse. Okay. Bitcoin, it just doesn't know what to do. Real tough. Don't know. Coin flip could jump to 30, 31, and then dump. Could dump here. You just kind of like gambling if you're trying to enter here. Oil. Let's see how oil's sequence is looking. Still in that wave 4. We should still get one more wave 5 here. Looks like we're starting to form a triangle of some kind, which is typical of a wave 4. You know, A, B, C, D, and E. So we should be seeing a move in oil maybe tomorrow to the upside. That's the XLE sector, right? Maybe seeing that. We'll see. If we break down, then it's a different structure. Then it's just a three-wave move in the 4, like that. So again, it may not be a triangle. It's just an idea. But I do think it's got more another move higher. Now, the other thing it could be in oil is a corrective, right? Because you have 1, 2, 3, 3 massive waves. So it's a corrective structure unless you get this 5th wave. So that means this could be a massive connector for this big move, a shallow one, and then we go lower, and then we'll go well below the $40 mark in oil. So not preferred view, but it could be it still could be a corrective bounce until we get this 5th wave. Gold I think got rejected, and like I said, gold is running out of space for the cycle, the wave 5. It's you know, I believe it's in a 5th wave of the 1st wave off the low, so it's something like 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in 5, and here we have something like that, and then that would just be wave 1, and then we'll get 2 and up before we finish this thing up. So something like this is what I'm thinking. And then silver, again, kind of warned about silver here. There is some other options and alternatives. It could be this massive corrective structure like I have here, where we can go to 26.8 and then drop to new lows, or it is a 1, 2, 3 of 3. But see, this doesn't line up with the rest of my market forecast, where gold's going to go and everything. So I'd be careful on it. It could even be a 1, 2 flat and an A, B, C. So I'm waiting for a pretty good pullback before I go long. I don't want a little shallow, I want a big pullback and then I'll go long. Because I think it's dangerous at this point still. Even though we breaking the high is good. I think it's an overall positive sign. But a short-term trader, it's a lot of danger buying here. It's a lot of danger. This is just my thought on it. VIX, let's see. I was looking at the VIX today. Kind of coming up with this like bottom type pattern, you know, and eventually should bust out of that. The dollar index, real tricky, and it's really weak. But again, if gold's going to pull back, this could be the pullback in gold. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for A is done, and you get B, and then you get C, and then you get this X wave finished for a massive move higher in the dollar, something like that. So that's what I'm thinking for the dollar. 3 waves, W, X, and then A, B, C for Y, and you finish X for the next move higher. But clearly, no one wants the dollar right now. And I think Congress is noticing the weakness in the dollar too, because they're like, oh, we're going to propose the gold standard again and all this stuff. And then the debt ceiling drama may be heating up. I think there's some talk that things are not looking good, so we'll see what that does to the dollar. Oh, and the interest rates today, they look like they're breaking lower. There is a chance that B wave is done here. If it is, it'll go down in another swing. Can't tell yet. It's too early to tell. The 10-year did break the low, so the 10-year should be heading down to 2.9 and 2.8 in this area now. So, and this is got a big move coming, because this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 1, 2, 1, 2. And you know what 3 of 3 is. So that's risk off, guys. That's risk off, right? Bond yields lower, risk off. And it may come through this line down to 2.6 even. The other thing I mentioned is I only have 3 waves up from the March 2020 lows. I don't have a 5th wave. So this could be just a corrective bounce on the 10-year. This could be just a massive corrective bounce, and we could go all the way down to negative rates from here and correct. This was just a correction until you get that 5th wave. So that's very deflationary. That's very risk-off type behavior. So we'll see. But I do think now the 10 years should go lower in yields, given that divergence there, and then the 30-year should follow with it down too. And again, it's only 3 waves off the low, so it may only be corrective. So we may have high short-term rates and very low long-term rates. Inflation in the short term, and deflation and depression in the long term. I don't know what this all means, but I'm just telling you what I'm seeing in the charts at the moment. Okay, let's look at different sectors. Technology sector, again, it looks like AI got annihilated. Here's my buy area. If you've been patient, it's coming home, and perhaps you could try to pick it up maybe at like $13 or $14 for a trade or a bounce against $10. I may take a long on that. I don't care what the count is in the SPY, because these charts, there are relief rallies, and if we get a good relief rally, it goes up, 20-30%. That's a good trade. So I just keep an eye on that AI, but it's nowhere near where I want it to be. Tesla, everyone again trades Tesla. It turned into a 1-2-1-2. This is more than likely a 3-4 here. So this has to play out, and then it should bounce and fail. And then it'll hit the buy area. And if you're aggressive, you could try to buy that for a more substantial bounce here. Of course, there's no guarantee that it'll bounce. It could always cut through it, but we'll see how this plays out. But this is kind of the setup. AMD was lower. Pretty much everything turned down, right? NVIDIA, boom, the short area, puke down. Apple, sequence finished, puke down. How's Facebook doing? Man, it still came here. So more than likely, Facebook's topped to here. Google. So tech was hit pretty good today in the market. Small caps were hit pretty hard. Just kind of scanning through things to see what we've got going on. All right. Yeah, just nothing that I want to mention here. Let's look at the green. stocks. Okay, first solar's a danger, right? If this is right, this counts right. And phase, we had the 1-2-1-2. What happened? Puke. Guess what? It can go down more. Yikes, all the way down here, really? Yeah, it could. Power plug, let's see this plug. I've had this $8 here area here for for the last year and a half, and we may finally get there. More than likely, it'll go deeper in here. So this looks like 5 waves for your ABC. So we'll keep an eye on that one, because that's hydrogen, right? Green, and investment. The problem is we hope the company can survive the bear market. That's the only problem with this kind of company. But the chart's the chart. We'll see what happens down here with it. How's RK doing? Could be turning down in 3 of 3 of 5. All right, let's look at commodities. How did they do today? Some of them got hit. Nothing really to talk about. Discretionary. How's Crocs doing? Hit our X wave, turning lower. Let's look at staples, defensive sector. Yep, see the flats playing out more here. AEHR, so let's see, let's try to do the count on that. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's still not there yet. We'll keep an eye on that for a trade. Let's see here. Just looking around. Financials. Yeah, this descending triangle or whatever really needs to break down soon. Schwab is close, getting down in this wave 5, breaking down. Healthcare. Nothing really going on here. Defense, again, this is defensive sector. J&J. Guys, I can't make it any easier for you guys. Look, watch my videos, my live stream. This setup was like on a silver platter. Boom. Did I know they were going to settle their court case? No, but the chart knew. The chart knew some good news was happening. And we had a risk off. So people rotated in, which I figured would happen too. This was a good one. So boom, ouch, out we go. So these are defensives. Okay, so we'll wrap it up. Video for me, I got my eye on the prize, a much bigger prize later. So I'm just going to kind of sit tight and let this market chop around. And play around, play games, and do whatever it wants to do. But I do think, the NASDAQ and the SPY, with the intensity of the sell-off today, should have confirmed the end of this leg of the cycle. And that means it's a connector, either a connector or the next leg lower has been born. And then the 4-hour does need to come down, I think, to this area before you can get a more substantial bounce. Or get possibly the bearish count invalidated. I would be surprised if that happens before this stoch resets. These stochastics reset. Look at the SPY. Hasn't even really started. It's way extended. It needs a reset on that 4-hour. The Dow Jones not even started. The IWM now that's getting there. So we'll see. All right, guys, that's all I've got.